When people are released from jail, they have the responsibility to appear in court. But some of these people choose to go on the run.
They go back home to mommy.
And that is when these guys come into the picture. So sit back and listen to the Off the Hook podcast with Chad and Rob.
Very fine people on both sides.
I love that.
These are real stories,
so
but the
It's a good
names
intro,
have been
man. I like it.
changed.
It is. What's going on, guys? I am Rob.
And I'm Chad. What's up?
I think y'all know us by now.
You know us by now?
You wouldn't think? You would think?
Yeah. I think we got some loyal listeners.
Yeah, we actually got some.
Shout out to all you people that
Yeah.
are listening. We appreciate you.
Thank you a whole bunch. We appreciate it. I've noticed here lately we've gotten some new subscribers that come on.
Yeah.
I've told a lot of people and they loved it. And then I went and got some shirts made here in town locally, and the guy was like, "Oh yeah, you're the other guy. You're Raw." I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "All right, cool. I've been listening to you."
I know you, but I don't know you. I know you from the podcast.
Yeah. He knows the voice, but doesn't know the face. So that tells me right there you're not watching YouTube, which is
That's all good.
it's whatever.
Listen, watch, whatever.
Hey, I'm enjoying it. We got so many stories like you were telling me this morning. We got another story we got to bring up
Yeah.
about Christopher Threet helping us at South Carolina. So,
Chris, if you're listening, what's up, buddy?
hey, man. So, man, have you seen what's going on lately, man? I got to bring this up, man. Have you seen, did you see where Pete Hegseth renamed Fort Liberty back to Fort Bragg in North Carolina?
Which shouldn't have been changed to begin with. I mean,
come on.
yeah, like locally. I mean, that whole period of time that everything's names got changed and statues got removed and stuff like that, man. It's exhausting, man. Really.
It is. I'm kind of glad that it was starting to feel like some more normalcy.
Yeah. I'm glad that they're turning the Marine base back to
Army base.
is it Army base?
Yeah, it's Army base back to Fort.
Yeah, that's in
Fort Bragg.
Fayetteville. So
Yep.
that's a few hours from us.
We call it Vietnam.
Yeah. So we're closer to Jacksonville. You know, we got Jacksonville's
Camp Lejeune, baby.
Camp Lejeune. They didn't mess with that one.
I don't think you want to mess with the Marines.
Yeah.
They eat crayons and stuff.
We bond enough of those guys out.
Remember that one guy we bonded out? Like, he took a forklift. He was on base now.
yeah.
Took a forklift into the ammunition building and ran through it. He was drunk.
He was right. He was drunk and he did that. Yeah, I remember that one.
God, that's a couple years ago, a few years ago.
Yeah.
But I was like, what in the hell are you doing?
Crazy stories, man. That's why we're telling them.
Oh, yeah.
You
God,
won't believe us.
I
but-
didn't think of that until right now. Oh, man. So, Chad, anything exciting your way? Anything new? Because, hell, we've been sick feels like for months now. Like, this weather's been killing us.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, just got a different ride.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
kind of new for me.
Dude, I checked it out, bro. That thing's sweet. I've never really sat in one. We rode in one years ago in California when we got that guy.
Yeah, that's right.
But
Model
this
S.
one here is a little different, man. This
Yeah.
one was nice.
Yeah,
Dude.
yeah. It's pretty fun. I was actually while I was waiting on you this morning, because the funny thing is I forgot my key to the office to get in, because my new car doesn't require a key. It's a Tesla, so it uses your phone or a card to get in.
Oh,
So I had, I'm rushing out of the house, getting the kids ready, and
he calls me this morning. I'm getting ready. He's like, "Where you at?" I'm like, "I'm still at the house. I'm about to head that way while I was up."
So I sat in my car and I connected it to Hulu.
Oh yeah,
And I'm watching the news on my screen on Fox News.
I like it, man. It's pretty cool. I got to sit in it, and we got to play with all. This thing is the Tesla.
It's my commuter car. I still got my truck, but it's something to take the kids to school and come down to the office, and I'm just putting miles on that truck, and it's not cheap. 13 miles per
Hell
gallon.
no.
So, I figured I would do this, and I got a good deal because evidently it's the last 2025s that they were trying to get rid of. And so I got some off of it. So pretty good deal. I feel good about it.
Yeah, man. So, man, I ain't really got much going. Like I said, I've been sick the whole time. But the
Yeah.
band's coming together well. We got another practice on Sunday. Come to find out, I just found out this morning that our fiddle player used to play with Charlie Daniels.
Well, Charlie Daniels is from Leland.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that's right across the bridge over here.
bridge from us. That's originally so. Yeah.
I'm excited about that. So if guys, if you're like here locally and if you see the Salty Southern band, because I got the Salty Southern stuff from the hats that you made and in the shirts and stuff, got to come check us out. It's going to be good. It's going to be good stuff. So, all right, moving on to the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
What
Well,
you
that's a
think?
lot of controversy. Other than the game sucking,
I
it was
mean,
good for the Eagles, but you know,
Eagles spanked that ass.
they
bro.
spanked them. They spanked them. They really did. And I think everybody was cheering. It seemed like the newscast guys, everybody seemed like they were making excuses for the Chiefs. Oh well, like third quarter. Well, one touchdown and it'll turn it around. I was like, guys, they're getting that butt spanked.
Bruh. They didn't pay the refs enough.
Taylor. Oh my gosh.
Oh, when they
Poor
showed
Taylor.
her and then they booed her and then
Yeah. But wait, I've heard the opposite. I heard, we saw one and Trump, they cheered for Trump and then booed Taylor. And then I've heard the opposite where they booed Trump and
you can watch
you
it
can
for
alter
yourself.
whatever.
You can watch it for
News
yourself
and
and you
yeah.
can make that own decision.
Yeah.
I mean, what the hell? I mean, you can't.
So-
Here's the liberals will lie to you to your face, and you're like, oh, that's not it because it's not what I see.
Yeah. Whatever.
Horrible.
But the big Super Bowl thing, I guess, which I personally thought sucked, was the Kendrick Lamar halftime show, if you want to
Yeah.
call it that.
Yeah, I
Dude.
mean, whatever happened to Prince?
Prince was a halftime show.
Yes.
Michael Jackson's was a halftime show.
Yeah. The Who?
The Who was a halftime. I mean,
It was a concert with a football game attached to it.
correct.
So this right here, look,
What's the purpose of a halftime show?
to entertain.
To entertain you, to take you away from, temporarily from your work and all your obligations you have in your
Politics.
daily work and politics, all that crap. This is a time where we're supposed to come together, watch a game, cheer for one side. And in the middle of it, you get entertained by somebody, until the guys come back out, right? Well, that's not what we had Sunday.
I didn't understand him
And-
rapping.
He could have read a story to somebody, I guess, but his voice, it was not musical. It was, I guess he was trying to put out a message from what I've seen other people say, and like, you just don't get it if you didn't.
I don't care to
you
get
know,
it.
And I was like, that's not what I was watching TV for. It was to be entertained. But anyway, that's been controversial. I heard he's not getting paid for it either.
Jesus, I miss I miss the days when we had like I said, like you said, Prince. When Prince was on,
If you
Man.
ever get a chance, YouTube Prince Super Bowl.
but you know what? Prince was
He was a musical genius.
he was a genius, and unfortunately, he had an addiction that we see a lot of people have.
Yeah.
And by the way, yesterday, we'll get back to this, but yesterday I was at the jail doing a bond as a DWI up in Pender County, right?
Mhm.
And I was sitting there waiting on the magistrate and the paperwork to get there, and there was a young man sitting there, and he was like, "Hey, man, are you a bondsman?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a bondsman," because you can't say that, you can't say, "Hey,
Yeah,
I'm a
you can't-
bondsman."
Yeah,
He was like, "Yeah,
But if they ask you.
I'm here for probation and stuff." He goes,
might need
I'm
you.
from California.
Oh,
And he goes, I've been here for a couple of years now, and nobody wanted to bond me out. So I sat here for a few months, like 3 months. And when I saw the judge was like, I don't see you being an addict, like a hard addict. I see you needing some help. Would you go to a rehabilitation center? He goes, yeah, I'll do it. He did it. And when he told me his story. And while we're sitting there, he's been clean for almost a year. And he said, man, he goes, I'll never go back. I was doing cocaine and drinking a lot, and it was affecting my family and job and the whole nine. And I was like, man, it was, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to see that. Like, it's good to hear good stories like that from time to time.
yeah.
And
yeah.
I told him, I was like, hey, man, just stay on the right path and you get it. He lives in Hampstead. and he's got a couple of jobs there. So I plan on trying to pop in on him every now and then and go, hey, man, how's things going? You know, just it's a good thing to do.
Yeah,
So,
I like when we pop in, various, I don't think we can eat at a restaurant. Somebody we hadn't bonded out that works there. And, when you see them, you kind of feel like you're checking on them a little bit to see how they're doing, make sure they're there.
And he's not even our bond, but I'm just curious because it's nice to hear that somebody went to a rehabilitation center.
And it worked.
And it worked.
Yeah, yeah.
Because a lot of times it don't. They get out, they do the same thing, they reoffend and go back in there again.
Yeah, they do it to dodge jail.
Yep.
And, yeah.
Well, so that was a good bond yesterday, sir.
Yeah,
by the way.
Yeah, it was.
I think he pissed.
That guy evidently pissed off a judge, magistrate, somebody.
It was a judge.
Yeah, so he just had ended his first DWI.
Yep.
It had gone on in court for 2 years, and that's what he told me. And then he, I don't know if he was found guilty or what the outcome was, but obviously it was guilty of, I don't know to what degree. You have 4 degrees of DWI, levels of DWI.
Yeah, 1 through 5 or something.
So I guess judge wasn't happy with him getting another one right after that one.
I think is what he blew. I think he blew a really high number.
Really?
Yeah,
you don't know what it
like
was?
a 0.29 maybe.
Ooh, he was in the wind.
Yes, he was.
Oh, okay.
Well, if that happens, call us. We'll get you out, but you got to go to court, and you can't be doing that no more. You're going to kill some damn body.
Yeah, he didn't have a co-signer. He owned property, but we're kind of going out on a $25,000 limb, so to speak.
Well, don't worry. It's on the back of the affidavit, the address, so we got you. All right, so being that the Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl, congratulations, Eagles. I'm not a big Eagles fan. I'm a Redskin fan.
I didn't care either way.
But whatever, I don't care. But it's back in the division, so congratulations. So this story that we're going to tell is a story that we did right outside of Philadelphia.
Yep.
Eddie, it was $100,000 bond.
It was a big bond. So this guy, he had a girlfriend down here. She lived in a nice neighborhood outside of Brunswick County here, I think, with her family, something like that. They had a kid, I want to say. He broke into the house, tried to take the kid, and assaulted her. So he got kidnapping charges and assault on a female and all this stuff. And,
yeah, you know more about it than I do because you wrote the bond, actually.
Yeah, that was
10 years ago.
Something like that. It's been a good while. Wow, it doesn't seem like that long, but yeah, I guess it is. So anyway, we talked to his parents, I want to say it was, that co-signed, got him out. I gave him a ride to a hotel, and
hang on. But this is story time.
Oh, yeah.
We've got story time.
We didn't have it last time.
I know, right? Let's see if it works this time. Here we go. There we go.
I can tell stories. Got too much to tell.
Too much.
I can tell stories. Got too much to tell. I can tell stories. Got too much to tell. I can tell
Stories.
All right.
So story is, we're gonna call this guy Eddie the
Marine. The PTSD Marine.
Yep. So Eddie the PTSD Marine. Chet bonds him out of Brunswick County, $100,000 bond. Gets him out.
Take him to a hotel,
Yep.
which he's going to catch a flight the next day. So when somebody we've got on bond, it always makes you leery when they're going to leave the state, because that's one of the conditions that one of the 7 reasons that you violate, we can put you back in jail. So when we have to know where they are. We have people all over the United States that we get out and they go, other places, but we have it worked out to where we know where you're at.
Yep. Well, he was going back. Well, he told you up front that he was going back to Philadelphia, right?
Right. He told us that he was going there, and we confirmed the address, and so we were okay with it. The problem was he didn't go to court.
Yeah. and I believe I'm trying to remember now that you were on the phone with him a lot.
Yeah.
And he was
bullshitting.
He was bullshitting us pretty much about the lawyer going to get it recalled. I'm going to do this, do that. We called the lawyer because the attorneys know who we are. So we're like, hey, what's going on with this guy? And they were like, yeah, he's not doing what he's supposed to. So Chad,
you're telling us one thing and your attorney's telling us another.
Yeah, and we don't tell him that.
No, we don't tell him that because, that's what it is.
Yeah.
So I say, Rob, let's
pull the trigger.
Let's go rent us a minivan and head up to Pennsylvania, right?
Yeah. So Chad picks me up this little minivan that he rented. He likes minivans, right?
Oh, yeah,
which is cool.
They're comfortable and they're good on gas and they got room.
True. So we do all of our homework. We verified that he's still up in the Pennsylvania area at his house. He did tell us the truth on a few things, but he lied to us about the attorney. He didn't think we would come up to Philadelphia to come get him. So we drive all day. We get up there. We go where he lives, and we're sitting there looking at the house, and we saw like little lights and somebody moving around.
We got there kind of late in the evening.
Yeah,
it seemed like So we didn't push it because we're gonna have to
drive back with him.
Drive in the middle of the night. That's a long haul. So I remember we got a hotel not just down the road. It was a nice area that he was in.
Yeah, I think I cannot remember the name of it, but it's a little suburb right outside of Philly. Mm-hmm. We get a hotel, and it was a nice hotel. It was like
we thought it was.
Yeah, we thought
it had bed bugs.
Yeah, I sitting there. I pulled the sheets back because anytime I go to a hotel, I lift mattresses up and I'm looking.
Yeah,
because you don't want to bring that shit home. And I look and I see this little thing like it looked like. I mean, it was a bed bug and it was like small. So I get it and put it in a little cup.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, he showed it to the staff downstairs.
Yeah, and they're like, "Oh, we're going to switch your rooms." I'm like, "All right, cool." So we go to another room, do the same thing, no bed bugs. And did they give you your money back?
They comped us the room, I believe.
I think they comped the room, but you better because it was one of the nicer hotels. We're not going to name any names, but
you wouldn't have thought that this would have happened at this hotel.
So we get up next day. I remember us going to go get something to eat that morning, and then come up with a game plan. Hey, let's go see what we see.
We were fresh and ready to go.
Yep. So we get to this neighborhood, nice neighborhood.
Yeah.
We're sitting partially in a cul-de-sac because his house was in a cul-de-sac.
Yeah, it's a long, long driveway. It's one of those regular neighborhoods, It's kind of
2-story house,
cleared out where you boom, 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 house, in a circular cul-de-sac. And we were sitting there in the minivan, and we were like trying to think of how we're going to approach this house. Now he knows me, but he doesn't know Rob.
Nope.
So we're dressed plain clothes.
Yep.
So, we're not screaming bondsmen or anything on us. But we do have ID to show who we are.
So we come up with this brilliant game plan.
Brilliant.
It's brilliant. It's brilliant. It's huge. Huge. Brilliant. It's the best of all. So Chad goes, Rob, all right, you go up to the door and knock on the door and say we need something. I'm like, hey, I say we got a flat tire. I need help. He's like, all right, cool. I'm going to go stand beside the garage while you're doing your thing. And if you can bring him out, bring him out. I'm like, all right, cool. So we go up there. Chad gets in his spot. I go to the front door. I knock. My heart's pounding a mile a minute right now because
this is one of your first ones, right?
Yeah, it's one of my first ones. And
I think first one we traveled, a good distance to do.
I think so, yeah. It's been so long ago.
So,
man.
we're going in another state. You have to abide by their laws, too.
Yeah.
Once you get there. So this is all a learning experience.
Yeah. So I knock on the door. And the dude opens the door, and it's him. I'm like, hey, bro, what's up? And he's like, hey, man. And he was nice as could be. He goes,
yeah.
He goes, can I help you? I said, man, I got a flat tire in my van right here, and I've asked some of your other neighbors, and nobody's home. And, dude, I need some help. He's like, no problem, because I told him I broke my back, and I couldn't bend over.
Oh, good call.
Yeah.
Sympathy card.
I pulled that shit out my butt. You hear me? I pulled that one out of my butt. I didn't know. I was like, broke my back. Okay, whatever, I'll go with it. So we start bebopping, right? And I'm talking to him, trying to keep his attention away from Chad here, because here comes Chad. Like,
yeah, I'm not too far behind, but
he's
I'm trying
coming. He's coming. He comes. He's like a. I mean, you see how like. Not like Chad's not a small dude, right? So he comes up behind him like a bull in a china shop. He grabs him and said, "Nope, you ain't going nowhere." And I was like, "Yeah, sorry, bro." I was like, "My
There's no
tires
flat tire.
There's no flat tire. I didn't even break my back, bro."
All good news for me, bad for you. So anyway, you know, it's a means to an end. You know, we had to do this because he could, you know, just stay in that house.
Yep.
He's ex-military. I'm sure he's well armed in there.
Oh yeah. So
and also,
I think
like
we
I said,
take
we
him
call
back.
him
I think we take him
PTSD.
back. I think we take him back inside the house to
Did
get
we?
some stuff. Yeah, and lock
Well, I
up the
mean,
house.
as long as we can, you know, get a handle on him.
Yeah.
You know, it's a judgment call, man. I mean, you don't know who's in the house,
Yeah.
but this was, you know, you make your best, what you think, you know, we can do.
The disappointment on his face.
He was in there by himself. It was a good sized house.
Yeah.
And like, I think dude was living by himself because he's retired military with the PTSD. He had some mental stuff going on.
Yeah.
And that was a part, and which was sad, but you know, is it $100,000 going to let it go type sad? No.
Hell no.
No. So he's going to have to work that out. Our job is to make him go back and face the music.
Yeah.
So, we get him his clothes or his shoes or whatever it was that I forget what we needed to get.
And we take off and we leave, and it's a long ride back. We
Yeah.
stop a couple times. We get, and he's talking the entire time. He will not shut up. And I'm over here like, I'm getting aggravated. All right, this is back in my, you know,
Angry Rob days.
angry Rob days where I'm like, look, dude, if you don't shut
Dude
up.
had to go to anger management.
I actually did one time, and the anger management guy was like, okay, yeah, you can just, this has been like 20 years ago. But he was like, you don't need to come in here. You just have an ex-wife issue. I was like, well, yeah, I know, right? You know, she won't let me see my kid. So that was like 19, 18 years ago. That's been a long time ago. So anyway,
All right.
so now since, you know, now when I go get somebody, I'm not as angry. I'm not mean. I'm stern, but I'm not, I'm calmed down. Plus my blood pressure's out the freaking roof. I had to get new blood pressure medication. So,
Hey, that was what happened over the weekend.
oh yeah.
You had an issue. Oh,
Yeah,
with
I
that.
found out you can't drink on this blood pressure medication, and it jacks your blood sugar. I'm not diabetic, and if you drink on it, it jacks your blood sugar up. They checked my blood sugar because I passed out. They checked it. It was 363, and it's supposed to be around 100, 120 somewhere.
That's not good, Rob.
No, no. So I ain't doing that shit.
So you
again.
know what not to do now.
No, so my
Cool.
drinking days are over. So the older you get, the more calm you be. So we're on the way back, and I know we stopped and we eat, and I'm smoking a cigarette because at the time I was smoking,
Right.
and trying to keep him calm the whole entire ride, and trying not to bite his head off. And we take him down. It was Brunswick County, right? Yeah, it was Brunswick County. So we take him and put him in jail. And after that, it's over with. We file the paperwork and we get off, and it's on to the next problem.
Yeah.
As we always say, on to the next issue.
On to the next one. Yeah. So
I don't want to do that again, though.
that was Eddie, the PTSD Marine.
Yep.
And
I wonder where I kind of wonder where these people are at now. Because, you know, they talk about this shit in jail. How'd you get in here? Well, bounty hunter come got me. Oh, really? Who was it? You know they talk about that. Don't go run on these, because I've heard it. I've heard people say.
oh shoot, I just remembered one that we got to tell.
Which one?
The one where, like, I think I was at Myrtle Beach, and like we had looked for him before. Yeah, we got to tell that one. And you ended up getting him down there, and his dad was in the lobby talking junk about the bondsman that did all this.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Oh,
Dude, I saw he's back. He's in jail.
yeah.
He's under like over $1 million bond. He's got a long list of charges.
And I tased him.
Yeah, that was the one that ran out of the restaurant.
Yep, and he shit himself when I tased him.
I just had to. It hit me. I was like, shoot! I just remember that.
That was one of my. That was early days.
That was
too.
one that you and I worked on together some.
Yep.
And then we had a dead end and had to pick it up later.
Yeah, and James helped me on that one.
Yeah, that one was a little more involved, but had a crazy ending. And dude's back in jail facing. I don't know. I want to say he murdered somebody.
Really?
Yeah, it's something really, really bad. Like he's got a ton of charges.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, he don't need to be on the street.
Nah, man.
Them type of people need to stay in prison.
I don't think his dad needs to be on the streets.
Oh yeah, that's true too. Yeah, he was all mad at me.
Yeah,
we
your
got that
angel of a son.
Yeah, we got to tell. Man, I'm glad you brought that up. You got two stories you told me this
Right.
this morning.
They just come back sometimes. I don't know. I'd just be doing something. I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that one.
Yeah. Wow. That's wild, man. God, I can't believe I forgot all about it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad you said something.
Yeah.
Man, you got any plans for coming up this weekend? Got anything going on?
Man, it's Valentine's Day.
Oh, it is. Ain't it? Oh,
But
shit.
this will come out after. No.
No, this
no,
because we're a little sorry. We're a little bit late on this
yeah.
episode.
Yeah.
We had a lot
My
going
bad.
on. We've been sick.
Yeah. Yesterday we had like a bond that bond we had to work on.
Yep.
And that was right when we were about to do this episode. So that one kind of took precedence, but we'll have this one out today. I'll upload it as soon as we're done.
Right.
Yeah, this weekend is Valentine's Day. Do something for your significant
Yeah.
other.
Better call and get some flowers.
You know, I don't know about. You guys just starting to date might want to get the flowers, but them things die and they don't last long.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, some women like it. I know. My lady likes flowers, and we've only been dating for a little over 2 years now.
I like steak, which is awesome.
I do
So,
too. Steak is awesome.
Or carnivore. So
Oh no, I'm going to a second chance prom this weekend.
second chance.
I got invited by from friends of ours.
What is that?
We all get dressed up and we go out, and there's a couple places doing a second chance prom where you go. It's like a prom. You go get pictures.
Oh, if you didn't get to the first time,
Yeah.
Oh.
I went for 30 minutes of mine, and we took off and went partying.
Oh yeah.
So this time, my buddy Tig, hey Tig, he's got a buddy of his that owns a limousine. It's yellow, right?
Is he one that's got the stretch Volkswagen?
Yes.
Beetle? I've seen that.
That's
one.
the one we're riding in, man.
I've seen that thing. It's right on I-40.
Yeah,
It's a stretch bug.
yeah, dude. We're riding in that. It's gonna be fun, man. We're gonna try it out. I can't remember. Is it Friday night? I think it's Friday night.
Friday night's Valentine's, I believe.
But I
The
think the
14th, yeah.
second chance prom is that night, and then 7 Mile's doing the same thing. So I think we're gonna hit both of them. There's one downtown here, and there's one at 7 Mile. But yeah, the limo's gonna come pick us up. It's it's gonna be funny.
Cool.
But other than that, and I got band practice with with everybody. It's gonna be awesome. We're putting it together pretty nice. We need to play in your clubhouse, man.
I don't know about all that.
Hey, do you don't think
I
they'll?
don't know about all that.
Hey, if you need a band, we play country and rock. Okay, if you need us, hit us up. So, well, well, Chad, that was a story of Eddie, the PTSD Marine. Other than that, man, that's another wrap. Let's get back to it. We got a lot of things to do. So
Yeah, we got to figure out how to use. We got some long distance interviews on this podcast that we got in mind that we want to do.
right, yeah, we got to figure out what to switch and how to do it with Zoom and the whole nine.
Yeah, so we want to change up the format a little bit, but we got to figure some things out. But we got some more ideas coming. So anyway, we're glad that you guys come check us out and come back next week and we'll have another.
Absolutely. And so in the meantime, we love you. We meant it.
I'm Chad.
I'm Rob, and this is Off the Hook Podcast.
See ya.
You've been listening to Off the Hook with Chad and Rob. We hope you've enjoyed the show. Make sure to like, rate, and review. And be sure to follow us for notifications for another exciting episode. But in the meantime, you can go to our website at www.offthehookbail.com to see more. So until next time, stay out of trouble, or it'll be you that needs to get off the hook. See you soon.